Hi guys. Hittarth, are you here?
Uh,
I was.
Hi.
Hi. So yeah, that was fast basically. Welcome to our meeting. We have some info, some updates for today. Oh, somebody else coming. Marian, cool. Hi. We had a contribution day last Friday in Ukraine, and I've been there, and we basically just had a lot of interest, and a lot of people were interested in Async Import project. And I just want to make the small recap about what's happened there. So before this, I created bunch of the issues, labeled them on contribution day. I already basically deleted the labels for issues that were taken, but still, there was multiple pull requests. Some of them already merged. Just will go shortly through. There was one pull request which I will start from. There was pull request also from Alex that deliver changes not to asynchronous import project but to bulk API project. That's why I asked him to create it to Magento 2 repository, and it basically already validated, accepted, tested, and yeah, officially accepted by a reviewer. And what it's basically doing, and I guess it's nice to see here on the QA screenshot, it's delivering the data hash here. Because usually our like before, our bulk API operation had a data hash field, but it's never ever been used. It's always delivered null wherever what do you have there. Now currently it's delivering the SHA 256 from input body. Yep, that was a pull request to bulk API or to async API, and then we have multiple to async import. I will start from like small ones. Wait, there was somewhere here. There was one from Stepan that basically quite a small one. He created the SEL resource for the import service, and I thought it's already used on our pull request from Hittarth, so it was merged even on the same day. Then we have okay, that was closed. Yeah, we have created add date. So basically, when we create a new import file, our response always returned created add is null. And what it's basically doing is setting up the correct value. So we get the correct value on a created add response. That's also already merged, and basically, I guess from contribution. No, that's from merged ones, and we have still some open ones, which is, let me check. That was create import start endpoints, which Stepan started to do. Basically, I had no chance to review it yet, but what is it doing is only creating again dummy endpoint with service contact for import type and start. So basically that we can start imported file. I guess from the contribution day, wait a second, that's all that we had? Yep, correct. Also, so basically, yeah, was quite productive, was a lot of people. And what I also prepared on Thursday will be one more contribution day somewhere in Poland, and David Manor will go there. And what I did for him, I tried to create some. Oh, I created tickets. I created a ticket with the same labels. Oh, yep. Sorry, change it directly. So yeah, first of all, he asked me to prepare some ticket for him, but unfortunately for him, a lot of those small tasks were done on the contribution day, and currently I'm a bit out of tickets. So we had, I made for him still a bunch of tickets for bulk API. It's like three of them, which is not so easy. And I added two of them for the test coverage for our processors, which maybe somebody want to make on the contribution day. And yeah, one is a complex for advanced price and import. Uh, don't know if somebody will take it over or not. Okay, that's about topic of contribution days. Then what is next? We have draft pull request from Marian about UID's implementation. I made some review. I guess Marian, you didn't check it yet. So yeah, I mean when you will have a time, please have a look. It's quite minor fixes, nothing crucial. And what I want to do after you will check it, that you merged in your branch, you merged the 2.3 develop because there was a lot of endpoints that were added, which also have to be aligned for UIDs.
But it's clear. It's clear.
Okay, good, cool. Okay, and yeah, we had Hittarth is doing the cool job and proceeding to provide us with a pull request. For first of all, yeah, he still have he completed the partial update, which I started to validate, but I didn't complete it yesterday. We had some chat with Vova about the implementation. So like conceptually looks good. I will check the implementation and also the validators. So Hittarth, you're welcome to present your pull requests to us if you wish.
Yeah, guys. Hi, all. There was a validation to be implemented earlier for all three types of processors. Someone has created a whole class to manage different validations for the local processors, for the external files, for the base 64, and all the different validations implemented with the same validator class. So the requirement, the issue was to split it down into a couple of small functions and try to implement in such a way that later on, probably if someone wants to implement another validation, or probably some more extended with the validation, then they can. So based on the requirement, what I did is I have used dependency injection to define the different validators for external file processor. I have separated all these validators into different validator files. So let me just share my screen and show you guys how I implemented. So these was two issues which has been created. One is implementing validators for import source request, in which the specification is, like someone has created validator class in which was all the different validation request validations and local file validations and the remote file validations all been implemented into the same class. So and there is another issue which has been added is the validate base 64 before upload. So I have based on these two issues, I have created one pull request which includes all these scenarios, and I have split that validator class into different validator classes. So there is one common validator that I have implemented is request validator. So in that, so let me just open the demonstration file that I have. So I have created one interface which inherits, which will be implemented with all different validators. And one is, so it has only one validate function. and all the validators are being implemented that validator interface and will be defined that validate class, validate functions. This is the request validator, which I have injected in all processors. So these are the processors, and let's say each processor will have to validate those requests. So I have injected request validators, and request validators for all these external file processor, base 64 encoded file processor, and local file processor. And then there is a base 64 validator as well. Base 64 validator as well, which just validate the import data with the regex, and if it is invalid, then it throws an error. The same way, I have created an external file validator, which checks the file, file is exist or not, which checks the MIME type as well. And there is a local file validator, which also checks the file is exist or not. If it is exist, then check the MIME. So and all these validators are injected to the relevant processor. So let's say there is a local file validator which injects into the local file processor. Base 64 validator will injected into base 64 encode data processor, and the external file validator injected to the external file processor. If someone wants to create a new validation, then they just need to implement this validator interface and inject into the DI.XML, which will work. So and I have written the same code into all the 3 different processors, which just does the same thing. But I'm taking an example of local file processor in which there is a validator to be injected into the constructor, and it just there is a for each loop, and it just validates the source. That's it, and throws an error. So this is how I have implemented the validators. And yeah, one more thing is earlier there was an issue of MIME type to be implemented into the different classes. Now I have used this file source type, and using the source type pool, I have validated those MIME types. So with the source pool type, I have get all the allowed MIME types, and I have validated those into the local file validator and external file validator. So this is one thing. Anything wanted to ask or probably give me suggestions to improve something? Anyone?
Like for me, looks quite good. I will check the details, the implementation. I mean, at least saw some static fixes, but basically looks quite good. If anybody have any questions, suggestions, I guess. Okay.
For me also looks pretty good. Definitely will check implementation, but so far it's pretty good.
Yeah, I like really an idea to validate with a pool so that you can define the validators for each type uploaded. That's really nice. Yep.
Okay. So that leaves me with the partial base 64 import implementation. I have also copied those files, and so basically what I did is I have used persistent storage processors to implement the partial source validator. So basically the idea was to, as I said, like whether it is a base 64 processor, whether it is of external file source, whether it is local file source, if someone wants to upload the files in a different splits, and later on they'll want to merge it, and they can do it. So this is I find that this is a good place to be implemented, the partial source type. So what I did is in the API, I have created one partial source upload interface, which will use basically initially I have created a separate web API call for the partial source, which calls this partial source interface, and also I have created one partial data interface which extends the source interface. So I know it's not advisable to use to extend any of the classes or interface into another classes, but later on I find there is a redundant fields which is already been implemented in the source interface, and which we can use to save the data into the database for the tables and all this stuff. So I find this is the best way to just introduce new these files, new these fields, and take the request and proceed ahead. So after someone is hitting this URL, it straight away calls the partial source upload, which redirects me to the partial source uploads execute class, in which I have used the partial source, but actually, a partial source interface is also an instance of a source interface. So later on, when I am forwarding this request to different other classes, it will not give us an error, and it's also it leaves me an opportunity to use this same source pools and the source processors the same way that we have implemented for the source interface. So later on, the same thing I'm doing with the source processor pool. I'm getting the processor, and then I'm uploading the partial processor. So it will redirect me to this file where I have introduced new partial source type. In the partial source type, I have checked partial source type is valid source or not. It requires three fields: data hash, data pieces count, and piece number. When it is valid source, then it saves the source. So save method will just save the source into the temporary directory. Then it checks that it's not the final piece. Then it just return the success. That's it. So in the save, I am setting the status uploaded, and that's it. It's not returning the source ID or any other source resource. It just says it's uploaded. That's it. In is final piece check, I have checked that all the pieces are there or not. If each and every pieces are it's been uploaded, then I have used merge function to merge those pieces. Get the source type, get the content of all the merge pieces into the and read those content, set it into the source, and rest is the same thing. I'm getting the type processor. I am saving the type processor and returning to the objects. So basically, I have written this piece of code to process the partial request, and then once all the pieces have been uploaded, I'm just merging it, and I do the rest of the things the same as we do in the another processors or the full upload.
Can you show how you detecting that it's a final piece?
So I check that with the path. With the path, I have just get the total number of counts, the total number of pieces. I check that all the pieces exist or not. If all the pieces exist, or if there is any piece missing, then and I am trying to upload the final piece, then it says trying to save the final piece of the partial request, but there are some pieces missing. So please try again with the missing piece to merge the partial sources. So the idea was if someone tries to someone has already uploaded the first piece and they misses the second piece and they try to upload the third piece, then it gives an error that second piece is missing. And later on, when someone will try to upload the second piece, and they check that all three pieces are exist, and it straight away process the content. So they'll not wait to call the third piece to be uploaded again. So when the first someone is uploaded the first piece, then the last piece, and someone tries to upload the second piece later on after checking up the error, then with the request of the second piece only, they'll process a whole import process.
So just to understand correctly, so can the workflow be so that I'm uploading first the So that I upload them asynchronously. So what if I will send the first one, then the third one, and then the second one, so in a different sort order? Will it accept all three and will merge them together, or will it throw an exception?
No, so basically, see, it will throw an error when someone send the last request first. So even though they'll throw an error, they have already saved that particular piece. So if someone send the first request first and then the third request second, so it will process it. So it will save the second piece, but it gives an error that like it's not the last. There is a missing pieces that requires to be uploaded. And
Okay.
when someone later on, probably if someone will send the second piece, then they check that all the pieces are there, then they don't wait to they don't ask you to again send the third piece. So when
Yeah, I
someone
get what
send
you
the
mean.
second piece
I get
again
what
and
you
then
mean.
merge it.
Okay, now I get what you mean. I'm more saying that the first point, that the throw an exception is not the best way because we still save the object. So kind of I mean, in our case, operation is still successful, but we throw an exception that's to this inconsistent state. So second one, the idea also was that you can and you're allowed to send the files in a different sort order, and you will get successful response in all those cases. So you have 5 files, you can send fifth, second, third, first, and then fourth in a different sort order, and the system will accept them all with a success message back. Only point which I see now that we need to define the point when we can merge them together and to deliver it back to customer. I don't remember if we discussed it before. Vova, do you remember such cases? Also not, yeah? Okay, good. Does anybody has an idea? So basically we are throwing up 5 pieces. They're all accepted by the system. And can you do you have somewhere an example of the call which we are sending? Just in front of you that I don't look for it.
I have actually, but like I won't be able to execute as of now because
No, that's okay. Just
I'm
show.
connecting I'm connecting to the different development server earlier, so I'm not be able to connecting as of now. So
Yeah, sure, but I just want to see the JSON which is jumping in just to see the
yeah. So I have that. This is
how it
the
looks like. If I remember. Okay, we have import data, data hash, pieces count, import type, source type. Data hash, import data. That's our first part. Then we have data hash. So just a point here that we have to, after throwing the first part, we have to map them together somehow. That is part of the same file. I mean, if you're doing it asynchronously, how you're doing it currently, you're doing it based on a data hash.
yeah. So what I did is with the data hash. Actually, like I'm not sure that like it's a good idea or not. So what I did is I have used data hash to create directory into the
Also, just a file
where
name. Yeah, okay. You're doing the directory just to place the parts inside, right?
yes. So using the so if you are sending the data, sending the same data hash into the three different pieces, then I'm creating the directory with the name of the data hash and then in the piece number, and then there is a piece number. So it's
Yeah, okay.
the path will be where import data hash and piece number.
What are you saving in database? Like after each request?
I'm not sure, like it's the idea was, like I have used small data hashes as of now. So I was not sure that, like these pieces are, I mean, see, there might be a very large pieces as well. So I was not quite sure that, like it is best idea to save it into the database for temporary into the database, and then remove it from the database.
I mean, currently, if I will send, I mean, in your case, I see you have piece count 2 and piece number 1. Where if I'll send one call after another, I will have in database 2 lines of entries.
No. So the in the partial processor, let's say you have sent it the second piece first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there is a final piece missing. So it checks, like all the pieces are there or not. If it is not there, then they'll just send the status, which is uploaded. That's it. They are not returning to the source. They are not returning to the source ID, anything. So in this final piece, in this saved partial save, it is just saving it is just saving the file, not saving into the database.
Yeah, got it. What will be the response in this case?
It's just uploaded, that's it.
Also, so just response with the status upload, okay.
Yeah.
But no ID then, right?
No ID, no source object, nothing.
Okay. Yeah, I guess this solution has to be a bit oversynced. I mean, the first point looks quite good. I just want to be sure that it's consistent and we can send the files asynchronously in different sort order. So yeah, then I would propose we will have a look with Vladimir together on a pull request and just will review it. And yeah, that maybe we'll get a bit more idea. I currently don't have a good solution, like good idea in mind. So yeah, I would propose to discuss it the next time, but then we'll have a lot of bit more time to check the pull request, make a review, and yeah, and make some decision here. If you're okay with that.
Yeah, of course.
Cool. Yeah, then thank you very much. Looks really good, and you are like pushing the project forward. I saw you also took the issue with the create the not price the customer upload, I guess.
Yeah. I haven't started yet. I'm just starting it slowly because like it is a very different component and the module is different. So I haven't been looking into it. I haven't had much time to look into it, but I'll start working on it as well.
Yeah, sure. I mean, that's quite a big part. But I guess someday we have to start with an import in any case. So it's a good point, and yeah. Cool. Is anybody else have something to add? Comment? Everybody's quiet today. Okay, good. Then, yep. Thank you everybody that joined us, and see you then next week, the same time. Have a nice evening, guys. Thanks. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.